Now, let's say you want to build an aesthetic physique with the least amount of effort possible. Or maybe you just don't have a lot of time to train. Maybe you can only hit the gym max 3 days a week. No matter what the reason is, if I had to pick just 5 exercises to sculpt your body for the rest of your life, these are the ones I'd bet everything on. I used to think you had to do every exercise under the sun to develop a top tier physique. And truth be told, because of it, my physique hit a plateau. I wasn't able to make much progress till I reformulated my training to be around these 5 major exercises that I am about to show you guys. Now, first up are pull-ups. In my opinion, pull-ups are one of the absolute best exercises you can do for your back. They hit your entire back with some bicep involvement depending on the variation, but when it comes to building that wide aesthetic look, there's one version I believe everyone should focus on: the wide grip overhand pull-up. Wide grip pull-ups hammer your lats. And if you don't know by now, your lats are the key muscle that creates that V taper, the broad-shouldered, narrow waist look that defines an aesthetic physique. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I'm not strong enough for pull-ups yet. And you might be tempted to swap them out for lat pull downs or jump straight into the assisted pull-up machine. Please do not do that. Not only are these substitutions less effective for building your back, but getting stronger on those machines usually doesn't carry over to real pull-up strength. Instead, what you should be doing is focusing on smart progressions like banded pull-ups and bodyweight rows. And if you stay consistent, your goal should be to work up to 8 to 10 clean pull-ups without any kind of assistance. And when I say clean, I mean some real form. You want to grab the bar just a little wider than shoulder width apart with an overhand grip. Start from a dead hang, arms fully extended. Initiate the pull by driving your elbows down towards your hip, not by shrugging your shoulders up. Pull your chest up toward the bar, not your chin, and squeeze your lats hard at the top before lowering yourself back down slowly under control. No half repping, no kipping, no swinging your body for momentum. You want each rep to be smooth, powerful, and controlled, especially on the way down. This is how you actually grow your back, not by rushing through sloppy reps. Once you can consistently hit around 3 sets of 8 to 10 bodyweight pull-ups with perfect form, that's when you can start adding weighted pull-ups to your program, which is personally one of my favorite ways to build even more size and strength through the upper body. And it's an exercise I look forward to doing every single week. If you need a full guide on how to get stronger at pull-ups, check out my video linked in the information card up top. And also, I'll leave it down in the description for you guys too. Now for the second exercise, adding even more to that V taper I talked about earlier, we're hitting lateral raises. If I could only choose one shoulder movement to do for the rest of my life, it would be this one. Lateral raises target your mid-delt. That's the middle part of your shoulders, and that's what gives your physique that broad, wide look that demands respect and turns heads wherever you go. You can definitely do these with dumbbells and they'll definitely work, but me personally, I kind of prefer using cables, specifically behind the body cable lateral raises, because they allow me to pull from a slightly different angle, giving my shoulders a bigger stretch and a stronger contraction throughout the entire movement. To set them up, you want the cable just set below waist height, kind of where your hands would meet. Stand slightly forward so that the cable starts behind your body, not directly at your side. From there, lead the movement with your elbow, raising your arm out and slightly forward in a wide arc, almost like you're trying to scoop the air up with your elbow higher than your hand. Keep the motion slow and controlled. Do not swing the weight up or turn it into a trap shrug. You want your mid-delt doing all the work, from start to finish. Mastering this movement and progressively getting stronger at it will literally transform your upper body silhouette, making your waist look smaller, your shoulders looking even broader, and your overall physique look way more powerful. If I've provided a lot of value to you guys so far, then go down there and leave a like. And if you guys want more videos like this to help you build your most aesthetic physique, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now that we've covered pulling movements for the back and shoulders, we need to balance it out with with a strong pushing movement. And for that, I chose the incline dumbbell bench press. Now, most people immediately think of flat bench when they hear pressing movement, but when you're chasing an aesthetic physique, incline pressing is a much smarter choice. Why? Because it targets your upper chest, and a well-developed upper chest creates that armor plate look across the top of your torso, making your chest pop out more, round out your shoulders, and it makes your overall frame look bigger and more powerful, even at lower body fat levels. Now, personally, I do prefer dumbbells over a barbell here because they allow for a greater range of motion and a more natural shoulder path, helping you build more muscle with less joint stress. When you set up for the incline dumbbell press, make sure you're sitting at about a 30 to 45 degree incline. Experiment between the two. For me, I personally like 30. Just make sure it's not completely upright. Retract your shoulder blades back and down into the bench and keep them tight throughout the entire movement. Lower the dumbbells slowly until your elbows are just slightly below shoulder level. Then drive them back up, squeezing through the upper chest. Now, here's some common mistakes you'll kind of want to avoid here. Flaring your elbows out too wide, which puts unnecessary stress on your shoulders, and bouncing the dumbbells off your chest just to complete the rep. Make sure to keep your movements controlled. Keep your elbows tucked at about a 45 degree angle and focus on moving the weight with your chest, not your shoulders or your tricep. If you dial this movement in, you will start building that full, thick upper chest that separates an average looking physique from the ones that really command attention. Now for the fourth exercise, we need some kind of lower leg movement. And here, while I could choose squats, like regular back squats, I recommend Bulgarian split squats. And here's why. Split squats force each leg to work independently, helping you build symmetrical, balanced legs. Most people naturally have one leg that's slightly stronger than the other. And when you're doing regular squats, it's easy for your dominant leg to take over without you even realizing it. Now, over time, that can help create strength imbalances, uneven leg development, and even increase the risk of injury, which is something you don't want. With Bulgarian split squats, there's no hiding. Each leg has to carry its own weight, and you can push each one closer to failure safely without being held back by your weaker side and potentially hurting yourself in the process. They're also one of the best ways to build true athleticism, improving your balance, stability, and overall lower body control, while hammering your quads, glutes, and hamstrings in a way that's so much more joint friendly than heavy back squats for most people. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this exercise sucks when you first start. It takes a lot mentally to push through a full set, and honestly, it'll humble you fast. Even now, Bulgarian split squats are one of the hardest movements for me to get through. But if you stick with it, the rewards are insane. Your legs will look sharper, more symmetrical, more athletic, the kind of legs that'll make your upper body pop even harder because everything looks super balanced. When you set up, grab a pair of dumbbells, place your back foot on a bench behind you, and step forward enough that your front shin stays vertical when you lower down. Focus on dropping your back knee straight towards the floor, not lunging forward. Drive through your front foot to stand back up without collapsing forward or wobbling side to side. I do admit this movement does take a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, you can't unlearn it. Common mistakes you'll kind of want to avoid is stepping too close, which dumps all the stress into your knee, or losing balance because your core and upper body aren't tight. Mastering this movement will absolutely transform the way your legs look and how athletic and balanced your entire physique feels. Now, last but definitely not least, we're rounding out the physique with Romanian deadlifts, or RDLs in short. Now, we've already hit the back, shoulders, chest, quads, and glutes, but a complete aesthetic physique needs developed hamstrings and some more load on the glutes too. Otherwise, your legs will look flat from the side and your overall frame won't have that powerful athletic look. That's why I love RDLs. They're one of the best exercises you can do to build thick, strong hamstrings and glutes without putting unnecessary stress on your lower back. Plus, when you develop your posterior chain properly, it makes your waist look tighter, your glutes look fuller, and your posture will look stronger. All huge keys for looking more athletic and aesthetic. When you set up for an RDL, grab a pair of dumbbells or a barbell. Stand tall and slightly soften your knees. From there, push your hips straight back, like you're trying to shut a car door with your hips, while keeping your back flat and your core braced. You should feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings as you lower the weight down. Lower until you feel a big stretch, but don't let your back round or your shoulders collapse forward. Then, drive your hips forward and squeeze your glutes hard at the top. Some common mistakes you'll want to avoid is bending the knees too much and turning it into a deadlift, or letting your lower back round at the bottom, as it's not about how low you can get, it's about keeping perfect tension on the hamstrings and glutes throughout the entire movement. Now, I'll be honest, when I first started doing RDLs seriously, it exposed a lot of weaknesses I didn't even realize that I had. But once I stayed consistent, it completely changed the look of my legs, adding thickness, shape, and that athletic snap that finishes off an aesthetic lower body. If you commit to RDLs the same way you commit to your pressing and pulling movements, you will notice your entire physique tighten up and look more complete. Not only just from the front, but from every single angle. If you master just these 5 movements, you're hitting every muscle group that actually matters for building a powerful, aesthetic physique. You're saving time, you're building symmetry, and you're looking better, faster, without second guessing yourself every workout. Now, ideally, if you really want to round out your physique, you should eventually add a few more movements to your routine, like a flat bench press to target the sternal head, an overhead pressing movement to build bigger, more complete shoulders, and maybe even some isolation work like pullovers to really hit the lats from another angle. But if you had to limit your training to just 5 exercises, the 20% of movements that give you 80% of the results, these are absolutely the 5 I would choose, hands down. And if you do have the time and you're ready to 100% dial in your training, shortcutting your way to the best physique you've ever had, I've got you covered. You can grab my free 90-day workout plan, link in the description below, to build your most aesthetic physique fast. And if you made it this far and I provided you a lot of value, make sure to leave a like. And if you want more content like this every week, make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is the Martin here, signing out. Peace.